What's up, guys? Johnny Kinswater here with Concert Addiction. Talk about yet another tour announcement that came out today. I made one video talk about pretty much all the announcements that came out today as part of this Ticket to Rock deal, but now I'm breaking them down one by one. And the next one we're talking about is the Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger Death Punch tour that was announced today. And as far as I'm concerned, from what I've been hearing, is this is a co-headlining tour with Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger Death Punch. Something that both bands have been teasing on social media for a couple days now. So we've been awaiting that big announcement, and that big announcement, as you probably know, came in the form of the Ticket to Rock announcement, which announced 4 other tours, which you can find my videos on those. But for now, we're just talking about this one, and I haven't been able to find a name for this specific tour, so I'm sure there is one. I just have overlooked it. But I do know that Bad Wolves and Nothing More are joining them on this tour. Bad Wolves obviously has been joining Five Finger Death Punch a lot since Tommy Vext had to fill in for Ivan Moody while he was away from Five Finger Death Punch last year. Obviously, they're paying him back that favor now by taking him out on the road all the time. And that band's pretty hot right now with that zombie cover and everything. So they're what I call a pretty prominent up-and-comer at this point. Nothing More you could kind of consider an up-and-comer as well, but they are pretty established at this point in their careers. They have several hits on the radio and things like that at this point. So although they're not a headliner, I do think they're not really up and coming either. But nonetheless, a solid band to have on this tour. Definitely something I will keep my eyes out for. This tour is not coming near me as far as they've announced yet. Five Finger does have 2 other shows in the area, so chances of us getting on this tour is probably not very likely, but I can stay hopeful. The tour is going to run from July into September. It kicks off July 21st in Salt Lake City and wraps up September 9th in Cleveland, Ohio. And yeah, a pretty kick-ass thing. Five Finger Death Punch, they seem to be going strong at the moment. That has not always been the case, though. Last year was a pretty dramatic year for them, and so the fate of Five Finger Death Punch was kind of up in the air. No one really knew what was going to happen, but it seems like everybody's worked their shit out, and now they're just rocking out and making music, and still touring on a large scale, which is very cool to see because sometimes you never really know how that's going to work. I will point out one thing, that they have kind of taken Ivan Moody, like, since he's been returned to the band, so a lot of the promotion and things like that and the posters, he's not like at the forefront anymore. I'm sure he's still technically considered the front man of the band because he's a singer and whatnot, but he hasn't been like the main focus point on a lot of the promotional materials that I've been seeing for all these tours. So that's kind of interesting. I know that there was a lot of turmoil within that band, so that maybe that was something they came up with, was they're just going to focus on being a band instead of focusing on individual person as far as being more important than one or the other. And with how successful Five Finger Death Punch was while Ivan was away, kind of proves the fact that he's just as equal as the rest of them, and I'm a big fan of him, don't get me wrong. I met him a couple times. Awesome dude from my home state of Colorado, so I'm not talking any shit at all. I'm just saying it's happy to see him back together and rocking and doing great things like this. And Breaking Benjamin, I don't really have any comment on that besides that they're awesome and I'm excited to see this. I was a little bit surprised, I guess, that they announced a co-headlining tour, or a tour where they're not the direct headliner, because I think that they're at that point in their career where they would be able to sell something like that pretty well. But if they're trying to sell out these bigger arenas and amphitheaters and things, maybe they needed another name on there like Five Finger Death Punch to help out. But with all 4 of these bands on one night, this is going to be like going to a music festival. It's not going to be like going to a concert. It's going to be nonstop the whole time. It's going to be kick-ass. It'll be interesting to see set lengths and things like that, because last time I saw Five Finger, they only played for a little over an hour. Granted, that was their second show with Ivan back. That was at Moonstock last year. They still rocked. It was just a little short. And typically with these co-headliners, they're about that same length. So I know Five Finger can do that length well because they did it at Moonstock. So if that's the case, we'll see. But like I mentioned earlier, this was part of 4 big tour announcements that dropped. You can find the other videos on the channel now, talk about each one of those. We got the Twins of Evil coming back, the Marilyn Manson Rob Zombie, we got Shinedown, we got and Godsmack, and we got Avenged and Prophets of Rage. So a whole bunch of tours dropped today. Make sure you check out all those videos, subscribe so you don't miss them. Also check out my Facebook page and my website. Facebook.com/concertaddiction, concertaddiction.com, and never miss anything going on in the world of live music. And like I said, I'll post a link to tickets and stuff like that in the description below, so you go and check, see if these guys are coming near you, and you can see about getting your tickets. So that's gonna do it for this one. Like I said, other videos coming, but until then, thanks for watching. Bye.